You guys give me if I kill that bird? Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Well, oh, hello. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. We are live here tonight on GubsRadio.com. How's everybody doing? Jeez. We're also live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Both of those places you can find us on the Gubs Comedy Club radio channel. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And we are here tonight with some fun with our buddy Ivan up at Myers Creek Brewing Company. Not in Syracuse, but just outside of Syracuse. I apologize for that, sir. But we'll get to that in a little bit. First, we have some sponsors that we need to mention. So, Steven, why don't you kick it off with Rosie's Draft Solutions?
Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings, maintenance, draft beer line system installs, even dispensing solutions and more. They're very passionate about craft beer and making sure that it has the same quality as when it left the brewery, which is only done by one way, making sure those draft lines are perfectly clean. Rosie's services, bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator, system installs, and maintenance. They service the likes of friends over at WA Meadworks, Blue Point, Darling Brewing, who we had on recently.
You started with the 12%, didn't you?
I did.
You did. You sneaky son of a bitch.
1940s Hop Winds, Mauritius Field Brewing, and of course our buddies over at Hopsscotch
Bottle Shop.
You got it.
Bottle Shop.
You got it. You even had the copy today. You know what? You're trying to live up to the expectations of last week, where you just nailed it.
Well, you can contact Rosie's at Rosie's Draft Solution at gmail.com or call them 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m., 8 p.m. Mention the Wort, get a nice little discount.
Yes, you will. Thanks a lot, Steve. Of course, tonight we are sponsored by Brewbag. Brewbag for your beer pong, cornhole, backyard game, yard games. Give them a look-see. It is a lot of fun to play. We've played it over the past summer, and we can't wait till the weather gets warmer. And we're going to get out there, grab our fresh brews, and go ahead and throw some bags around, as they say. Go to brewbag.com, and in the promo code, type in WORT, W-O-R-T, pronounced Wort, spelled Wort. And, of course, get your discount. Or you can go to our Instagram, where we have our link right to the page that is our page, where you can get your discount directly. Steve, thank you very much for Rosie's. Pete, why don't you take us away to our friends over at VintageBeerShirtClub.com.
VintageBeerShirtClub.com. If you need a vintage Budweiser T-shirt to watch the Super Bowl in,
nope, they don't have it.
And you're fresh out of fucking luck. But there are lots of other vintage beer shirts.
There it is.
VintageBeerShirtClub.com.
13%.
Yeah, and in and in the promo code, go ahead and type in WORT, W-O-R-T, and get your percentage off your order.
Some coin.
Some cash, not Bitcoins.
Not Bitcoins. No, I don't believe they accept Bitcoins or the doggy coins.
Ooh.
Whatever your favorite cryptocurrency is.
Yeah.
You're also shit out of luck. But if you want a vintage beer shirt, go to VintageBeerShirtClub.com and use the promo code WORT.
It is a mouthful. Speaking of mouthful, I just sipped some of this Pilsner. We'll talk about that in a few minutes with our guest tonight.
Mouthful, I don't know if anyone had serious FOMO with the fucking fried chicken sandwich from Hopscotch. Maybe maybe when Steve mentioned hopscotch, I thought of fried chicken
Just
sandwich.
immediately went to fried chicken. Did they post something like that?
They did, and
Okay.
it looked fucking
And it
delicious.
looks delicious. Of course it
We'll
does.
talk about that later.
Ryan does a great job. We'll talk to him about it later. Just some other mentions, of course. Go to Hartwell Woodshop in the heart of Patchogue Village, or Township, or whatever you want to call it. HartwellWoodshop.com for all your fresh mahogany needs. Also, taphandles.com. And, of course, we have to mention Brewers Hardware. Brewers Hardware for all your large or small capacity needs. Get those tri-clamps for president. Too late now. Voting has already ceased. But tri-clamp was with an easy runner-up after the top two. So go to brewershardware.com for your brewery needs today. And tonight we welcome in Ivan from Myers Creek Brewing Company over in, I'm going to probably murder, is it Casanova or Corsanova? Comasova? Comasoma?
Cazenovia.
Like Casanova,
Yes.
but an EI at the end then.
So, and there's a Z in there too.
Oh,
so.
boy. Wow. You know what it is when you look it up on the map and you're zoomed all the way out, it's very close to Syracuse. So it just was like, oh, they're in Syracuse. So I was, all right, you're about what, half an hour, 20 minutes?
Yeah, I live in Syracuse, and my drive to work takes 35 minutes.
Okay, yeah, not bad. And you know what? I'm going to start off by talking about the tap room because I'm excited to get up there in the spring. I have, or in even early summer, I have a work trip tentatively scheduled for an organization I work with at the school who meets at the Regency up in Syracuse. Last time I went up there, I stopped at a bunch of different places that was only on the route. So I stopped at a place called Heritage Hill that reminded me a lot of your place. It is gorgeous. Both places are equally as beautiful. You have a really awesome tap room. You have great views of the countryside, a small farm there. Let's get back to the beginning here. Ivan, where did this all start from? Because I know you're originally from down here or worked here a lot, and you're a big part of Long Island and have some roots here in Long Island. Tell us, how that started down here and then how you got up to where you are today.
So kind of ended up going down to Long Island and took over as head brewer at Oyster Bay Brewing. Before that, I was at Schmaltz Brewing.
Schmaltz.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that one of the names they named Henry Rowan Gardner during that movie, Rookie of the Year? Like Schmaltz and Gardner. Garden Schmaltzer. Something like that.
No, they were a Jewish-centric brewery, so they were going for that angle. That brewery was started in San Francisco and then was contract brewer, and that brewery is now owned. It's Single Cut North now.
Yep.
Schmaltz sold that brewery to Single Cut, so that's that brewery now. I had come there from doing research and development at Sam Adams in Boston, and then went down the Oyster Bay, was head brewing there, and that's where I got to meet the lovely and talented Steve. And I was there for a while, then went to LIC Beer Project.
Nice.
And then eventually this opportunity up here came up, and we took over a facility that was already a brewery.
Yep.
And what was it before?
Empire, right?
You are correct. It is Empire.
See, no, I thought Empire was in Syracuse, or they at least have a tap room in Syracuse somewhere.
Empire is an interesting story, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but there's several bankruptcies in several places throughout the state of New York.
Financial hardships, we'll say.
Yes. So our parent company, who is Feldmeier Equipment, you should all say a heavy thank you to, because they build tanks for the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
And most importantly, the people that are making COVID vaccines.
Nice. Are they working for Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson? Who are they doing, offhand?
The first two.
Yeah. But they don't make the vaccine, but they make the vessels that hold the stuff, right?
They make the vessels that they go into, and they also make fermenters and brewing vessels. But for the brewing industry, they only do stuff up above like 250 barrels.
Okay.
So Treehouse has Feldmeier vessels.
Right. Yeah.
There's some other people out there that have those vessels, but so they went in, took over this brewery. Jordan Pollack, who had worked at God, it's not Union up here. It's
is it distribution?
Yeah, distribution.
Is it Hudson?
Whatever Union's called upstate.
Oh.
No. Bigger than them.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that. I'll remember it in a second. He had worked for them for a while and then went and worked at Thin Man. He came back. He came to start this. Jordan then brought me on board for brewmaster position, and we've kind of been going from there. So existing, we had a 60 barrel brew house. That's a 60. It's very large.
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah. A little bit.
It's very, very large. Again, Feldmeier built that brew house. It's one of 2 brew houses they've ever built.
Mm-hmm.
The other brew house they built then showed up about a month later, and that's a 6 barrel brew house that we also have. It is probably the only 6 barrel brew house in the world with a calandria in the cab.
Really?
What's wait? What's a calandria?
For dopes like me, please explain.
Okay, so a calandria is basically it's like the internet. It's a series of tubes.
It's intertubes.
Yes.
I love that.
So
line.
basically, it's basically something to increase the surface area of heating. So it's a bunch of small tubes that are then encased in a larger thing that bathes those tubes in steam to increase your boil and increase heating. So this 6 barrel system, that is really what we produce most of our beer off of, is it's beyond anything anyone else has. We have a inline glycol chiller to chill wort from the kettle into the whirlpool, so we can drop temps down for hazy IPAs to get it below isomerization temp.
Oh,
so we can just do the stuff we do off this little tiny system is ridiculous. Efficiency on this system is way higher than any 6 barrel system should ever be.
That's ridiculous to have. That's like the biggest amount of toys a brewer could get. Just here you go. Here's everything you could possibly.
With toys. We have inline cell counters. We have hop cannons. We have
I'm sorry, hop cannons.
Hop cannons.
Yes.
I need one of those. I definitely
no, it's not like a T-shirt launcher, Peter. It's not like a T-shirt launcher. I promise. It is.
It's not far off. It just shoots pellets into a 120 barrel fermenter at rapid pace. So.
That sounds like a toy to me. Is it only attached to the barrel? Could you remove it from the barrel by any chance? And literally shoot hops all over the place?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, you pressurize it up to 60 PSI in this thing, and you could shoot hops.
I mean, for live events, that sounds like that's a contest. Who can catch the most hop pellets in their face?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're not wearing glasses.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible idea. That's why it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why don't we do that next time for the Pints of Love festival? We rent a hop cannon and we shoot hops at it.
Well, we'd have to talk to his owners that have the machinery and everything to do it. We can make that happen, I think. That might be a thing.
You don't want hot pellets in your mouth. That's all I'm going to say.
Go. Very good point.
Well, we'll break it up a little bit. What if we liquefy them just a tad, and it'd be like a snot, snot rocket right on you?
No.
Aw, that sounds like you got basically, like a playland to work with. How was that transition going from the places that you were to the place that you are now, and scaling up to those 60 barrel fermenters and the amount of, I guess, accessories and things you can utilize throughout a brew process?
So, we are mainly brewing our brand stuff on the small system, and we're contract brewing on the larger system.
Oh, okay.
So we do brew, our Pilsner is brewed off the 60 barrel. We did a all New York State ingredient beer to fulfill our farm brewery license.
There you go.
So before the death of 1886, we got a bunch of malt from them.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, we heard.
Got in.
So that's official?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I hope not. They're good dudes. But it's like, yeah, now to get New York State ingredients, I got to hit Dennis up at Hudson Valley Malt, and he's like, you'll get malt in 2.5 months.
Ugh.
So, yeah. So hopefully that goes through. But we scale up some things. The 60 is mainly for contract brewing. Obviously, the grand scheme of things is in 2 years, we're not contract brewing. We're just brewing our beer on the 60 barrel system. But, who knows in the current climate? Our beer is good enough.
Wait, I want to get to something really quick. This is a question I don't think I've ever asked. When you're contracting, does the New York State homebrewer's license count towards what you're doing inside the brewery, or is it only under your brand/label?
You said homebrewers. I think you meant
farm brewer. I'm sorry, farm brewers. My bad.
No, farm brewery is only for us. So for us, it's honestly not that hard to fulfill that farm brewery license. We brew 1 batch a year.
Okay.
We have to do 50 barrels. So the rules keep changing. I don't know what the percentage is anymore. Last I knew, it was like if you brew 100% of your beer with 60% New York State ingredients, you're good. Or you can brew 50 barrels of 100% New York State ingredients. And for us, that's far easier to do because we can just do 1 batch.
Scheduling that, I imagine, just to get the ingredients, scheduling that's probably a lot easier than trying to do it all the time, I guess, right?
Correct. It's far
especially
easier.
If you have the 60-barrel brew house too, right?
Exactly. It's far easier to do it that way. So we just did one. We knocked it out for the year. I mean, we literally started brewing beer June 7th, I think.
Wow. All right. So relatively right there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've not been open without a pandemic.
We've had a couple like that so far, which is crazy. We've had a couple in the recent months that are just like, we've never seen a real, night at the tap room. I'm like, that's got to be crazy to go through everything especially you with the experience, what it's like to be in a tap room in normal times, and now this is all you got. It's got to be a sudden change. And again, with the new tasting room you have, the beautiful grounds you have, it's got to be something, like you're just dying to get this thing going. For real.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, our tap room on the last 2 consecutive Saturdays still did, outstanding sales. Numbers that you would not expect in a February, and you would not expect in a February during a pandemic.
Yeah. Are you right now? Are you under some sort of restriction on your capacity indoors? Are you doing any patio or outdoor area? Like, what's the setup look like right now?
So it's 12 degrees out, so no outdoor area.
I thought maybe a heater or two. Maybe you do like a shanty town with the tents, like New York City.
No, we did not do that. We looked into those little geodome things that potentially we were going to stick outside, and it was like, I don't know if it's worth it. But no, we're at 50% capacity indoors.
Okay.
So the restaurant roughly has seating for 40-something people. 50-something people.
Okay.
Is there seating at the bar?
Yes, there is. 6 feet between with Lexan barriers between people and that whole thing. So there is seating at the bar. And they're killing it. That is not my purview in any way, shape, or form. I help them out as much as I can.
Right.
But the restaurant is run by our chef Chris, and our tap room by Cody, and those, they take care of that. So that's the other side of the glass, is what we call that.
That's what we say in the radio industry too.
Yes.
Yeah. On the other side of the glass.
Yeah, what size tanks do you have? Fermenters.
So we have 2 6s, we have 2 12s, and we are in the process of putting in 2 more 12 unis, and then we have 2 12 brights.
Jeez.
Cool.
So
Nice little setup you got there,
Yeah.
guy. Jeez.
it's pretty nice setup. Yeah, and then I mean we have full canning abilities. We have a full decal, Wild Goose 5-head filler with
Nice.
collection table, labeler, pack off table, the whole 9.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, Tom Franz, one of my buddies, brothers checking in on Instagram Live. We went Instagram Live a few minutes ago. Says those geodomes look like an aquarium. You're like sitting inside. People
Yes.
can see you from the outside, just swimming in your little geodome. It's great.
Yeah, they totally do. I mean, I saw them. Thin Man has them, and I saw them there, and I'm like, wow, there's some weird looking things, but apparently, people like them.
Yep.
I guess you get body heat in there. I don't think you could put a heater in there, can you? They're not that big.
Well, that's is it vented? Is it because if you put the heater in there and it's propane, you're gonna die if there's no airflow.
Yeah, you put yourself in a nice little Molotov cocktail room.
But like, how would you how would you ventilate that from like party to party?
Exactly.
Like it just seems like a COVID hot box.
I want to find out. I want to go.
What do you know about hot boxes,
somewhere
dude?
that-
What do you know about that? Beer equals heat, Tom
Seems like
says.
a COVID Dutch oven.
Yeah. Oh, that's better.
Is that better?
That's
Is that
better.
more
I
on
like that.
brand?
That's
Yes.
more on brand for you, Pete. That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, those look cool, but I think he's right. I think there's some things that would be negative about them. And I know, like you said, to have them outside, the heat issue, you do have a beautiful, lookout on your property there. Is this on a farm? Like, what's the property kind of made up of?
So we're on 23.5 acres. Across the street is a Angus beef farm.
Boy.
That we get all our Angus beef from, which is how we make our burgers.
You go and pet
Also
the cows before they're
Slaughtered.
turned into the steers. Excuse me. You go and pet the
yes,
steers.
they are the softest things I've ever seen. I'm just like, oh my god, you're gonna be so tasty.
I would sit there every day and massage the meat. Like, you're going to be the most tender.
Oh, yeah, they're beautiful.
T-bone
I mean, all
ever
that
had.
rain goes to them, so it's like I'm feeding you from cradle
Nice.
to grave, basically, and it's demented.
You did
That is the best answer I could have hoped for.
You answered my question, because a lot of breweries do outsource their grain to farm animals, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
You're literally very short trip, very easy, goes right over there and ready to go.
Yeah, right across the street, and so I mean the land where we're on is beautiful. We have a 2.5 acre hop field in the front.
Cool.
In the back, we grew barley this year. We didn't use it because it was literally 1.5 acres, which would amount to 0 barley. It was more just for show.
Yeah.
This spring, we're putting in a 9-hole disc golf course.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm pretty pumped about that one. We're putting in a vegetable garden. We're putting in a bunch of lavender. We're putting in some other stuff.
Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have a basement as well, which is just a basement under the current tap room. And we're going to turn that into like a small speakeasy and beer bar and bourbon only.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, that will be happening sometime in the spring. That basement area is also our wild ferment cellar. So we currently have 12 wine barrels down there actively fermenting with wilds.
Nice. My request: pinball. I like a good pinball machine. I don't need video games.
I'm ready.
There you go. He's got his disc.
There he is.
Fucking branded and everything, Steve.
Yeah, what do you got on those? What do they say? Are they like the official?
This is Long Island Disc Golf.
There you go, the official DG.
One of their official, and this is just another company.
No, does the Long Island one happen down at Robert Moses or Jones Beach? Is it at the 9-hole?
They have several different courses. There's one in Heckscher.
Okay,
that's the best one.
Yes, Yeah.
Yeah.
And the group Long Island Disc Golf, they like maintain all the courses. They have tournaments, all sorts of stuff. Before we closed, I had sponsored a team, and my team had won the cup for the year.
You touched the cup and you won it.
Yep.
Hey, Ivan, Gabe over at Oyster Bay checking in said you were the king of Aerosmith pinball. Ooh,
yes, I was.
Yes, he was.
I actually was. We had an Aerosmith pinball machine there. And
yes, you did.
Myself and Steve, not this Steve who's now at Sand City, played a ton of that game and really crushed it. It was a constant battle to see who would be high score on that pinball machine.
And Oyster Bay was the first place I played that video beer pong game. I've never seen that before I went to Oyster Bay when that first came in there. I went, there's a beer.
That was the first place I've ever seen it, too.
Right, I've never seen that before.
By the way, hi, Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Gabe.
Yeah.
Thank you for checking in.
Yeah. Get a couple people checking in really quick. Tom, again, says Adam's Family Pinball is the balls, and you got to check it out. The Gabe also says Aerosmith was the best machine. Eat your money. I was a big fan of the Monopoly pinball game that was at Effin Groovin for so goddamn long. It was there for years at Effin, and I went there. I used to go there with a roll of quarters to play both that and to play foosball in the by the bathrooms.
And to attract the ladies.
And to attract right, because of my smooth foosball skills.
Nothing says attracting ladies like playing pinball.
Nope.
like spinning your wrist.
It was a much worse joke.
Oh, you wanted to look into the girls' bathroom?
Roll quarters.
Yeah.
God, that was way worse.
Well, I put in the little pocket of my jeans, not the big pocket. I hear if you do that, it makes it look bigger. Just a tip for all you guys out there, learning about what that means.
Quarters.
Classy.
Ivan,
Classy as always.
This place, like I said, is looks immaculate. I was scrolling through pictures on Instagram, the stuff that you guys got going there. I'm excited to get up there. Like I said, end of spring, summertime, things are gonna calm down a lot, and it's gonna be a place to go and hang out outside. I know you have a lot of farm stuff, so I want to go back to the hops you said you have out front. Now, when you're, I guess, trying to satisfy the farm license, do you have to register your hops as being what's going in the beer to say it's locally grown? Like, how does that work? How does the state know, okay, yeah, I just used the hops out the back door? How do they know that that's what you're using?
Yeah, we don't harvest our own hops because we don't really have the ability to do so. So we have a local hop farmer, Chad, who is from Vineyard, and he harvests all of it, and he deals with all the New York State agriculture stuff that we would normally be dealing with.
Okay.
So he takes care of all of that for us. We're in the process. This year, we're going to switch over. Those crops that were there were Cascade hops. Cascade hops are great. I am extremely picky with Cascade hops, and I do not like New York Cascade hops.
Okay.
I've never had a New York Cascade hop that tastes like a Cascade hop. So we're actually going through and ripping out the field this year, and we're replanting that whole 2.5 acres with Comet, which is something that's much more. It grows better in Cascade.
Uh-oh. He got frozen. He'll be back. Steve, give me the lowdown. Why would Cascade hops not be so good for New York? Is it the soil content? Is the water content?
You know what it is? Again, hops that when they come from different areas, the soil will impart flavoring.
Okay.
I know what Ivan's saying. They don't have that real nice piney flavor. They're very subdued.
Okay.
Cascade's also used a lot for bittering, and you're not getting all those oils that you need for the bittering.
Right.
For whatever reason, whether it's the soil, whether it's just the temp, even the humidity, all makes a difference in what you're going to get out of those hops.
What is it about Comet then? Is it again the same concept? It's about what comes in, what goes out, what it feels like, what it tastes like. The bitterness leaves the oils on the resin of the bud. What's kind of throws its hat in the ring on this one?
Well, with Comet, since Comet is it's a newer hop, although Cascade's been around for hundreds of years. Comet's relatively new. It was engineered, so again, it's going to grow better.
Genetically engineered, right?
Genetically,
so it's made to last in the type of temperature, soil, water.
Yep.
It's got its own thing.
Comet also is a little hardier, from what I've been told by hop farmers, and that's great for them because Comet is I believe is a trademark hop. So I'm guessing they have a deal with
license it. Yeah.
What? How many acres did he say he had? Do you remember? 6 acres?
2.5, I think.
2.5
for the hops.
2.5 for the hops. Okay. So how much typically do you think that would yield to a batch? Are we getting pounds?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, it's probably for 1 or 2 batches, some mixtures, some blends.
And the thing with Comet, with any hop, usually it's the third year when you get your best yield. Where first year there's barely anything. Second year it's better, but it's usually the third year. So if they plant it this spring, they're not going to really use any of that for a couple of years.
And that's my question with the licensing. For the farm license, I guess, do you have to register those hops? I go back to my initial question. Do you have to register that you're using those hops, or you can just say, the hops are in my backyard?
Well, yeah, I'm guessing, and the guys to really find this out from is I'll have to reach out to the boys over at North Fork because they have their own hop farm that they're using. I'm guessing if that entity, you would have to be a different entity, call it, Meier's Hop Farm, and that's a whole separate thing than the brewery. And then now you could register it. How many pounds?
And you could sell yourself the hops and have the invoice to say,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess you have to do it business-wise.
Oh, no, I grew them and we used them. Because New York could be like, all right, well, I don't know what you did.
How do I justify that? How do I tell? Right. Yep. So then they're going to go, well, you can't do that again. They might give you the one warning.
That's why it's easy for them to actually just have the hop farmer come harvest
the hops and sell them back to him or whatever.
Process it and then give it back to them.
That makes a lot of sense. I want to just go back to what we were talking about earlier. He's got a huge area. What else, Steve, could they possibly be growing up there that would satisfy the farm brewer's license? What other ingredients could he be selling on those acres?
I mean, he said they tried to do barley, but you would need a whole lot of acreage to do barley and then harvest it. And so there's really not a whole lot besides hops. I mean, he said they're doing lavender, which is pretty cool because
that's pretty cool.
Using lavender in like a saison or something like that is awesome. And
hibiscus, maybe.
They'll probably do something with that, whether it's added to some food, that they're going to have. But
Tom's checking in on Instagram, guys. He says if you really want to get a tax credit for a farm, you need to have livestock. So you just buy a few goats.
Yeah. Goats.
You gotta have some goats if you want to be a farm. That's it. He's right though.
There we go.
What happened? My phone died.
No, that was a computer that just literally froze and nothing happened. So I had to switch computers.
Oh boy. No big deal. We were just talking about your farm, and just talking about how when you grow Comet, you're gonna have to wait a little bit, maybe a year or two, before you're really gonna start getting some of the good resins and taste out of it. The other thing is, and we were just kind of riffing on what possibly could happen. I guess you said it before. The hop cultivator or people that actually pull the hops off the plant, do they sell it back to you, and that's how you're able to get that transaction for the state for the farm license, or how did that work so far with the Cascade?
It's we have an agreement where basically the farm is ours and we essentially purchase back a certain amount from them based on their labor.
Okay.
And then then Chad from Buying Yard is allowed to then sell the rest of that to whoever he prefers.
Dan,
and he was big with us, like, hey, you really want to go with Comet because I can't grow enough.
Right. Dan from Long Beach Brewing Company is checking in.
Dan.
Dan says anything you grow you can use. So I don't know how you quantify that of what you grew versus what you're using. That's my only question. So I guess when the state comes down and asks about your license, they'll say, how much of this did you yield? How much did you get? And you could say 4 pounds, but if you only got 2, how would they even know kind of what you yielded off that farm? And I guess that's the interesting thing.
They don't.
Yeah, they won't even check.
No, I mean, to be brutally honest, I mean, I appreciate the New York State farm brewing license and all that, but they really don't check that closely on it. I mean, we do a very good job of staying within those boundaries, but the state, I mean, they're not overly concerned. They're just trying to up that agricultural region, that section of the state, and they aren't overly concerned. As long as they see an uptick, they're not really going to mess with people.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I'm just always cautious on what the state can quantify and what they can't. So that was my only concern. Like, is it people just trying to scoot around the system, or are there actually people like you guys, trying to do the right thing and really satisfy those restrictions that they put in place?
Well, that's the thing, though. There are guys that are going to follow it to a T and do what's right. And then, there are some guys that flout the, basically don't do what they're supposed to do and kind of ruin it for everybody else.
Right.
Because then once it's brought to somebody's attention, then that's when they come down and they start checking everybody. And you really don't need that. If everybody just does what they're basically supposed to do, you're going to be fine. But,
a couple people checking in on Instagram. Premeric 1, I guess is the name. I Drink Brew has come in. Long Beach still watching with us. Tom's still with us. A couple people checking in saying hi. Just want to say hi. Hi. The Instagram will shut off in a little while, and then I won't have to do these shout-outs. So I'm just throwing it out
with
there.
that lavender, you're going to put that in anything, bro? You're going to maybe some Saison or something?
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. It's a long-term plan.
Sure it is.
In that bar in the basement, our long-term plan is also to get some fooders down there. We also would like a small cool ship that we can kind of roll in and roll outside.
Ooh, nice.
So yes, the lavender has a eventual plan. Yeah, and also we're not that far from 1911 cider. Like, that whole area is filled with apple orchards, and there's all sorts of great friggin' bacteria floating in the air.
Yeah.
So
Dan from Long Beach also checking in says 3 years in for us, no one's ever checked our licensing yet, but we do use 90% state grain. So, it's kind of like an honor system, I guess, like Steve was saying, that most people are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
There probably are a few out there that we don't know if they are or they're not. They probably won't let on to it, but they're definitely people, as there is in every element of our society, that are not probably doing the right thing. I want to know, and I was saying before, what else were the plans for the farm for additional adjuncts that you could be growing there? What other things have you considered planting out there?
Quick thing before I answer that, I want to say Dan from Long Beach, thank you very much. He's a great dude, and he gave me a knife several years ago, which I still use on a daily basis.
Ooh.
So thank you, Dan.
Yeah, he gave you a prison shank?
For shanking people?
No, it was a really nice knife. My name's on it. So Dan's a great dude.
Yes, he is.
When I was at Oyster Bay, we kind of helped them get going, and he asked a lot of questions.
That's right.
And while they were
contract brewing there for a while.
We contract brewed for them, and Dan's an awesome dude. So
We've had him
thank
on
you
a
very
bunch of
much,
times.
Dan.
He's a great guy, yeah.
We had him on at the end of last year talking about the town, how they're really kind of messing with them and giving them
Don't
a really...
get me angry.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get Dan angry either. He just wrote in. He says Ivan brewed our first beer ever, so that's pretty freaking
Wow.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan's a friggin' great dude, so I wish them all the best of luck. And,
Yeah, and we trying to jump on the bandwagon of helping them out. Anything that we can do, I told them, let us know. If we have to go down to City Hall or Town Hall and be outside with bullhorns, I'd say I'd do it. I don't care. Anything to get those guys going and to, come on. Everything on Long Island is a brewery. At this point, every town should have their own brewery. What's wrong with the one in Long Beach? Let's get a grip here. Let's knock it off. There can't be anything wrong.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, I'll get back to the thing you were talking about. So the kitchen is going to start growing a bunch of their own vegetables.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
That's cool.
We're going to start. We're working on whether. So we have SUNY Morrisville very close. We're also not that far from Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Ithaca's not that far away. So we have those relationships. We already have relationships with the food science department with Cornell as we're working on projects with them. We will be hopefully very soon start growing all our own herbs for the kitchen, things like that. In terms of brewery things, we don't have enough land to grow barley. Like, we need 100 acres to grow enough barley for it to make a difference, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no way to do that. So brewery things, we're looking at putting in some potential other fruit trees, and unfortunately we're not in a great place in upstate New York. It gets pretty goddamn cold out, so things like peaches don't grow, things like cherries won't grow, so it's like, and apples is a waste of time, in my opinion, to grow apples because they're everywhere around us. And why grow apples? Because, no offense, I'm not putting apples in beer.
No.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's just like, okay, the stuff I want to grow for fruit I can't get, so I guess I'm doing Oregon fruit for that stuff.
Right, exactly. We were talking about something before, and I lost my train of thought again really quick. Fry Brewing Company says, what's up, brothers? Cascadia is in there. Respect,
nice.
spelled R35P3C7 is in here saying what's up. It's a lot of letters and numbers, but it says respect in the end. But yeah, I mean, the guys from Long Beach, same thing. Much respect from them, and what they've been doing down here, and again, the history of where they've come from in a long time, and it dates back to when you were even down here, brewing their first beer was pretty cool. When you were up at Oyster Bay, what other contracts were being done out of Oyster Bay? Because they have a pretty decently sized system. There was a lot of contracting going on in there. What other breweries kind of? No,
we did them, and then we did. Oh shoot.
Did
God,
Nightmare do anything through you?
No, I never worked with Billy at Nightmare. I mean, other than just hanging out with Billy, and that's always a problem. They just opened their brewery.
Locally down in Long Island?
Again?
In Long Island?
They just opened a brewery down there. I'm drawing a blank on the name, and he'd been working on it for years. And he had a brand and was kind of brewing out of his basement, kind of.
Was it?
I cannot.
That's Bellport.
Bellport, thank you.
There you go.
Yes, yeah, we did a contract brew for them once, and those were the only two we ever contracted.
See, I thought you had been doing a lot more out of there just because of the size of the system, but I guess you were cranking out a hell of
We made a shitload of barn rockers.
Barn rocker. I was about to say.
Yeah, you did.
That's what we were doing with a 15-barrel system, was making a shitload of barn rocker. My first 2 years there. Yeah, my first 2 years there, the Islanders were terrible and never made the playoffs. And my last year there, they finally got good, and all of a sudden we were just like, holy crap, we need to brew Barn Rocker like 3 times a day, every day of the week, because it was just like we couldn't keep up. It was just like, oh yeah, the Islanders are decent, and then the playoffs, we have to brew Barn Rocker nonstop, which is great because that beer is very good. I nailed that thing. By the end, by the time I left that place, that beer is. We finaled that GABF 2 years in a row.
Jesus.
Didn't medal, but finaled.
Yeah.
Like that beer recipe was dialed in. That beer is very good. So, and it's awesome that since I left, Gabe and Ryan and those guys got the, sponsorship from the Islanders and their official beer and all that. That was an awesome job by those guys.
Yeah, it starts with that recipe. So how did that come to be when you decided? Was it ownership, or was it you? Who kind of came up with the concept of creating a Barn Rocker beer that would be basically in the essence of Islander fandom here on Long Island?
Oh, that was Gabe and Ryan. That was way before anything else. Gabe and Ryan came up with that recipe, and then when Mike came in and took over as head brewing, basically when they started in the current facility, because they moved basically across the parking lot from, I think it was a 3-barrel system, into the current facility. Mike kind of tweaked it for a 15-barrel recipe, and then when I took over from Mike, I kind of slowly, over about a 1.5 year period, tweaked that recipe so people that drank it wouldn't really notice what we were doing, and just kind of modernize it a little bit and make it a little bit more shelf stable and make it the beer's really good. It's, a simple amber lager or amber ale for people that want an amber ale it's an introductory craft beer.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say the first time.
For being a hockey beer, it's perfect because, it's perfect.
Gabe said you definitely fixed it.
I would not say I fixed it. I just tweaked it.
Yeah,
I just made it a little better.
You put in parentheses, fixed. The first time I had it was actually at Nassau Coliseum. I remember all of a sudden you'd walk around, and at every single one of those bars, Barn Rocker was on tap. It was like the beer you can get besides their union contracts or whatever they were using, Manhattan or whatever, from Bud and for all the regular drinkers. But that was, when that first appeared at Nassau Coliseum, I was like, sweet, craft beer here now, finally. Thank you. And I would drink Snow
again,
Rollers.
that was Gabe and Ryan.
Yeah, there you go.
That whole thing was Gabe and Ryan. Those guys just hammered that into the Islanders. The people they knew at the Islanders, they were just like, we're making a beer for you. Why don't you pay attention to it? Why don't you pay attention to it?
Give it the respect it deserves.
Were like, like, hey, look what we're doing. Come on, buy this. And they totally just were like making sure they were aware. And I mean, those two guys are the reason that brand is where it is.
Yeah.
No, like dead honest, like they have busted their ass for that brand.
And they made it, and all their hard work paid off because it is a very recognizable can art. It's recognizable across all Islanders fans know it. It relates back to the Islanders' history at Nassau Coliseum. It's one of those things. I'm anxious to see it appear and pop up over at Belmont when the new stadium opens up. How they're going to have like a tribute to the old Nassau Coliseum and why they called it Barn Rocker. And I'm a big Islanders fan. I used to work for the Islanders. I did the in-game videography. So I had a lot of fun there, and I just remember walking around going like, this place, really needs an overhaul. And when it happened, it's an amazing place now, and unfortunately the Islanders
really
are leaving.
is.
Yeah, it's sad, but at the same time, I think a lot of the history is going to follow them over to Belmont for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I've seen a lot more college basketball and fish shows at Nassau Coliseum than I have hockey games. But it was falling apart.
The hunting and fishing expo in the basement. I think I've been to more beerfest than probably Islander games in the last few years. That's for sure.
Yeah. So
when they moved to Barclays, it was sad, and and again, the Barclays picked up that contract then. And they would offer it there. I remember seeing it there at a concert.
Yes.
I was going to
we
see,
definitely had it there.
I went to go see Tom Petty. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Freaking the Islanders play here. So Barn Rocker's here. No wonder.
Yep. Yeah, they the beer made it throughout the island, and at this point, what they've done, what Oyster Bay has continued to do, that beer's a staple of Long Island, and
Agreed.
forever will be like associated with the Islanders. So, I mean, awesome work. Like,
let's get back over
amazing.
to the beers you're brewing now, because I want to start talking about that. Our friend Mark from Hopscotch is going to join us in about 10, 15 minutes or so, but not that I want to crank through all these beers, but I want to get to some of them before he comes on. So we're starting tonight with the Pilsner called Floating On By. And again,
Yes.
I said to Steve, I like the can art you guys are sporting. It's got that very simplistic logo with a color scheme.
Yep.
And, of course, you're labeling, your branding all on there. Very cool, identifiable on the shelf kind of thing, identifiable through social media. Give us a little rundown of the Pilsner and kind of the process that went into that.
This is the epitome of a classic German Pilsner. Light, crisp, little bit of sweetness in the finish.
It is a crispy boy.
Yeah, it totally is. Probably 95% Pilsner malt, 4.5% Vienna, and the rest is probably acidulated for, mash reasons. Super easy. I believe this was Hallertau and Tettnang.
Okay.
I think. This was not designed by me. This was designed by one of our other brewers, Guy. Guy started brewing at PBR in 1983.
There you go.
Guy has brewed throughout the eastern part of the United States, brewing anywhere between 100,000 and 3,000 barrels a year. And he is a German through and through, and is like, when my threat to Guy is, if you keep fucking around, I'm gonna make you brew a goddamn strawberry milkshake IPA.
All the lacto. Give me all the lacto.
Yes, and it's just like, I mean, with the kettle sours and the hazy IPAs, it's enough for him. But when I say that, he's just like, God damn it. Okay, fine, I'll do this.
He's got to understand too.
Does he have like Van Huskeboot like tattooed on his chest?
No, but I would say Guy is somewhere in the neighborhood of 6'5", 285 pounds. So you really don't want to question Guy about much. You just let him go on with his thing. But he's an amazing brewer, and like, if anything we're brewing is German, it's basically no question who's doing the recipe.
He's got it on lock. The Pilsner comes across as, like, Pete and Steve were saying, it's crispy. It's got a touch of that sweet note. Does that come from the yeast strain that you're using, or is it mostly that Vienna malt? Where's that kind of spiking?
It's generally mash temp.
Okay.
We did this one a little bit higher to leave a little bit of sweetness. This is an 8-week beer. So it takes 8 weeks to produce this lager, which most people nowadays are trying to push through a lager in 4 to 5 weeks. And we're making 60 barrels of it. We're not going to rush it. Like, it's going to be perfect when it comes out. And so we're not going to mess around with that. It's got that little hint of sweetness. So it's not totally a crispy boy, but it's, bohemian-ish, not Czech, so a little bit of sweetness is acceptable.
Who are you using for your malt on that?
That is our silo malt, so that would be Canadian. CMC, yeah. So our silo malt, we have 2 malt silos, Pilsner and Turo, and that comes straight from Country Malt Group through via Canadian malting.
Okay.
Really quick before I move on to this hazy that I just poured, this orange juice that I just put in my glass. It looks delicious. I can't wait to get into it. I just want to say goodbye to everyone on Instagram. Thanks a lot, guys. Tom, small batch just came in. We're going to get out of here. You can go check it and watch it again for the last 40 minutes. But thanks to Gabe and Dan over at Long Beach and Tom, like I said, and everyone that's checked in, we're going to get out of here for a little bit. Go check us out on govsradio.com. The live feed is streaming right now. Peace out. All right, so basically, I opened this up. I took one little whiff, and I went, "Yep, this is right where I want to be." And I like.
Let me go grab that beer.
There you go. And I love. I love a good pilsner. And that's a great startup. But now I'm going to get into some shit right here. That's where I'm going with. Pete, did you crack this one open already?
I did, and I'm loving it.
There you go.
And I don't have that one.
Do you have the fog? That was.
I do not have that with me.
Yeah, I have the fog in the fridge. We actually grabbed the fog a couple of weeks ago when we had Chris from Darling on, because Chris was carrying some of your stuff. And then, like I said to you earlier before the show started, that Dubco's carrying your collab. We'll talk about that in a little bit, as well as the same one that Chris from Darling is carrying. So if you guys here on the local Long Island area want to grab some of Meier's, go to Dubco or go to Darling, and they have a bunch of their selections for you in cans to go. Check them out.
Or just wait for
We did an awesome collab with them.
Yeah.
Or just wait for Mark from Hopscotch to drive all the way up and pick up the cases.
Do you want to know the conversation I had with him? So I went over to Hopscotch to drop off stickers last week, and I said to him, "So Mark, because every week he goes somewhere in New York State and picks up beer and brings it back to Long Island, things that are a little obscure, things that are hard to find. He's done the Equilibrium ones. He's done a whole bunch, Trillium and Treehouse he's done, and he brings them back and kind of hosts them here at the shop." And I said to him, "So what's this week looking like?" He goes, "Oh, well, I'm going to do this." I go, "How about Myers Creek? How about you go up there so I don't have to find it on Long Island somewhere and go traveling all over?" And he goes, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to go there now, but I'll put it on the list because I already had like something in mind." I said, "Oh, that's fine. I guess I'll have to contact Ivan and figure out a way to get beer down to us." And again, thank you very much for shipping it down. But you can still find it here on Long Island. So I'm glad to see that the reach is starting to get down here, especially with the breweries that you're doing collabs with and are friends with, and to have them host some of your beers. Because, yeah, you're right. This, so far, cranking through these two, this is something I would look for absolutely on a shelf or somewhere. So why don't you break us down this Sea of Clouds Hazy IPA, because I'm about to dive right into it.
Hey, Mike, your video's lagging.
I know. I don't know what it is. It might be my camera. Ivan, while you're talking about the Hazy, I'm going to turn my camera on and off.
Okay.
All right. Got it.
Sea of Clouds, I don't know what to tell you. It's a Hazy IPA with a buttload of hops, traditional double dry hop. We generally do the first dry hop on about day 3. And then continue to dry hop about until it passes diacetyl. Sea of Clouds is a lot of wheat, a lot of oats, and only hopped in the whirlpool after it's below 165 degrees.
Okay.
So no bitterness, all sweet, all juicy, all, our house New England IPA.
Sorry, I had to change my cameras because you're absolutely right. My camera is definitely lagging like crazy. Now you can see it perfect, right? I mean, it's
now you're right.
Let me see if I go back and see if I do this here. Hey.
Are you using any cryo hops or anything like that,
Yes, constantly. So in this beer, we did not use cryo. No, we did not use cryo because you got to remember we're still new. So the recipe kind of is in flux almost constantly.
Okay.
And we did not use cryo on this one. But we have several beers where we literally don't use plant matter hops in the world. I mean, on the hot side at all.
Okay.
It's all liquid extracts. I mean, from they're out there that basically they're liquid extracting hops. Helps with yield.
Oh yeah.
And just you're getting the same flavor. We've, through some research, kind of discovered that maybe all cryo hopping, yes, it helps with your yield, is outstanding, but the flavor fades quicker. So we're kind of now coming to the conclusion that maybe we got to blend a little bit of cryo with a little bit of actual pelletized hop in the dry hop in order to keep a longer lasting flavor.
There you go. Look at that.
It's punchy up top.
Yes, it is.
But it goes longer. So that beer doesn't use those, but you know, we're going that way. And as with the market of today, we make, I bet you in the last 6 months, we've made 20 different hazy IPAs.
I wonder why.
Yep.
Yeah, me too, because maybe they sell.
Yeah. If you want to turn a profit, here's an idea. Produce a hazy.
Yeah.
And then rope them in with that, and then get them with the Pilsners and the Kolsch's and the Sours. You'll get them.
Yeah.
And the Stouts.
Yeah, because this one's Mosaic, Motueka, Waimea.
Boom. I mean, the combination works extremely well. We want to welcome in Mark Dublé of Hopscotch Bottle Shop. Mark, I'm actually very disappointed. You cut your hair.
I did. I took it off.
When did you do that?
Sure did.
Yesterday.
Ivan, oh my God, Ivan, this guy had the darkest, flowiest hair.
No, it's getting thin.
Oh, well. Listen, that's what happened to men at a certain age, Mark. But you had very dark hair. It wasn't gray. So you got just get yourself a bottle of Keeps for men, and it'll thicken right up. You have much thicker hair than I ever did. So listen,
or grow a beard to distract from the disappearing hair on the top.
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, my eyebrows I thought would distract people, but I guess not.
You got the Daniel Levy going on. Levy.
Did you trim those too?
Yeah, there you go. You can just shave those and paste them up there and fill in the gaps. Or you could just shave. Yeah, grow that beard back out. You had it at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a stash.
Yeah, you had a stash.
That's right. You had that porn stash going.
I did. It was a porn stash.
Wants a mustache ride. Ivan, this is Mark from Hopscotch Bottle Shop down in Deer Park. Mark, this is Ivan from Myers Creek. Say hello.
Hey, Ivan, what's going on, man?
Not much. How's it going, Mark?
Nothing. I'm sorry I stepped in, but I think it was at a good time. You were talking some good stuff.
Yeah.
Having
the hazy rundown, and like we were just saying before, that hop profile in this really is like tropical notes, like crazy. The way I like my hazies, deliciousness.
Yeah, we really go tropical forward now. One thing you'll notice when you try a fair amount of our hazy IPAs, we're not nearly as sweet as a lot of people.
That's true. Yeah.
It is a flavor profile that I am not fond of, and so we've kind of designed our yeast to be slightly drier than the run-of-the-mill hazy IPA, because I just find them too sweet. If you have two, you're full, and you're getting the beaties.
What are you using for yeast?
I'm not going to tell you.
Liquid or dry?
I'm also not going to tell you that.
Oh,
so coy.
One of the first guests
I am
that
flat out not telling you what I'm using because
we've
I'm not telling you.
Good. No, listen.
We figured out a way to do this, and I'm not.
Nice. Did you have any help from the Cornell Science Food Department on this one?
No, I did not do that. No,
because there's a lot of that
I'm
goes
not
into
telling people what we're using for yeast.
Fair enough.
So,
I like it.
Yeah.
Leave it up to them.
Figured it out, and we're using our own things. So that's why it's going to be a little different than everybody else.
Good.
So.
Yeah, fuck that. Don't tell everybody your secrets. I don't mind sharing some adjunct secrets, but right there.
I'll tell you whatever goddamn hops we're using or anything else, but it's certain things like temperatures and yeast and stuff. No, we figured out things that other people don't know. We're keeping that secret.
Smart.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. But what yeast are you using?
It's White Labs 001.
There
you go. Good answer, bro.
Gotcha on that one. Oh Christ! I mean, the haziness of this is the little baby. Oh, bring him on.
There he is.
Marky, put him on. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
look at that guy. Oh, don't be so sad. It's a beer
He's
show.
not telling you the yeast. He's not going to tell you.
Are you going to deny this adorable child the yeast information, Ivan?
Without a doubt, yes.
He's wearing a goddamn teddy bear, for Christ's sake. Come on.
Now I know. Now he didn't cut his hair. He didn't cut his hair. He's pulling his hair out of his head.
That's right.
From the 3 a.m. wake-up
Very
calls
true.
that sound like an
You know
alarm
how
going
it is,
off.
Steve. Yeah, it's crazy.
Number 2, right?
No, number 1.
Was
That's
that
number 1.
That's
no,
number 1.
No, this is number
That's
2.
number 2.
Oh, it is number
right?
2.
Yeah. Your first one was
Number
born right
two,
after
yeah.
the shop opened, right? Or right
Oh, that's
around.
right. I'm thinking,
Right
wow.
before.
You know what? It did cross my mind just now. I'm like, wow.
Congratulations.
That baby didn't grow up
Thank
as fast as I thought it would.
I was going to say that.
He's stuck in a timeline.
Yeah, what-
That's what happens when you drink good beer.
Yeah.
So
Keeps
it's
you
a
young.
Benjamin Button situation
Yes.
over at Mark's residence.
It's an amazing elixir you have over there at Hopscotch you serve up. It's
Yes.
brilliant.
Another boy.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations. Another boy.
Oh, thank you.
I guess.
Yeah, another boy.
Congratulations.
Another boy. 2 of them, 2 under 2.
Oh, Christ.
Ugh.
Ivan,
As you're drinking.
you have a great array. I mean, everyone can see on social media, on Instagram, kind of what you guys are putting out. You have the standard lineup that you have now between what's being distributed, what's available in the tap room. What else that you can't find in Canada that you can only find in the tap room at the brewery right now?
Dark Lager, Dunkelweiss.
Nice.
What else? There's a couple other things. We've got one hazy that's just available in the tap room. So we do a lot more traditional stuff for the tap room.
Now,
because
is it just
we
done on the
can't
6-barrel
can it
system?
and sell it because off the 6-barrel,
Yeah.
So we might do a 12-barrel batch of our Oktoberfest, which sold out. We did a 12-barrel batch of Oktoberfest that sold out in 4 days.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was that
That's
canned?
good to hear, too. Well, I mean, Oktoberfest, I feel, is like one of those styles that, like, you know.
We know.
We'll go.
Yeah, that'll go.
It'll go. So one
unless
thing
you
we
call it,
had-
Despite whatever, like, the trendy, beer, trendy style is,
As long as you don't call it.
Oktoberfest are usually, as long as you don't call it a Marzen or a Lager.
No, as long as you don't call it a Worttoberfest, then you'll be fine.
Right.
The Worttoberfest was not very good. In fact, that was more like. So, Ivan, we'll clue you in because now we can start talking shit. We brewed 2 beers up at Hopsters up in Boston, and both beers turned out like absolute dog shit. So what happened was we brewed it on their system. They were supposed to keg it for us, so we gave them the kegs, and they transferred it over to the kegs, and we got back down here to Long Island to can it at WA Meadworks in Lyndhurst on Joe Baruzzo's system. It came out like puddle water, and
Bro,
it was the
so
worst experience we've ever had.
It was so oxidized. It was we did a hoppy wheat and we did a Oktoberfest and they looked identical. So
I wish I got to try it.
Well, Mark, one day you yourself could have
really.
a Worttoberfest.
Oh.
Be careful what you wish for, buddy.
Yeah, and then this is the American wheat. 3 is a magic number.
Those are sick cans, though. Guys did a great job with it.
Mike did a really good job with
Labels
the
are
can art.
nice.
They look nice. They just don't taste nice. In fact, these cans, by the way, Pete and Steve, I don't know if you could see it. If I get close enough, but you can see it starting to leak out a little bit. They are.
Oh my God! Who checked the can? Who checked the seamer before running the canning line?
No, the seam was fine. I think it's still fermenting in this because these are really hard. These are not. These are going to
blow
explode
right on them right now.
Well, they're kept in the basement, so it's not going to get hot down
450 north on them.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Because I'm not
So
allowed
I only
to.
see this online. Like, what is going? Like, fucking exploding cans. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
as
all
a
about
business
temperature.
owner, how do you allow?
I am not a business owner.
Like,
First of all,
put
I am
yourself
owned
in
by
like
a
someone
much larger company that is well beyond my ideas of money. But they, no, you can't. Okay.
Let it all out. They're not listening.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant.
Go.
Here. So, all right. Do not put fucking fruit in a goddamn bright tank and then put it in a can. One, it's not really beer at that point. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's not beer. Two, you can get the same flavor if you add the fruit to the fermenter and ferment it out and don't have this mushy bullshit in a can. And thirdly, it will sit on a shelf at room temperature and not explode. Mm-hmm. So good job, 450 North. No offense. They're just the one we said before, but there's plenty of others doing it.
Yeah. I'm sure they're not alone.
Stop doing this. One, come September, Food Safety Modernization Act will start hitting the brewing industry. Mm-hmm. Doing that shit will be illegal, and it is up to you, the brewer, not the consumer, to make sure that beer does not explode. So either you have to start pasteurizing, fermenting out fruit, or stop doing dumb bullshit. Sorry, end of rant. I'm done.
Oh, man, I'm so glad we got to this topic.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That's a good one to bring up.
That was a good one.
I mean, it's got to be, obviously, the science of that with the room temperature, the temperatures that things are still fermenting in the can at that point, creating more CO2, and that's what's causing the explosions. So pasteurization, that would basically eliminate a lot of those sugars from fermentation?
Well, no, it would kill 100% of the yeast.
Oh, the yeast. Yeah. Okay, right.
So the sugar's still going to be there. But I have personally never pasteurized one of those smoothie beers.
Right.
So I don't know. You bring up that much fruit to a certain temperature, there's bound to be some reactionary things. I mean, polyphenol oxidase will probably affect color and might brown it some. So yeah, I don't know. But...
yeah, you don't want your strawberry.
Doesn't sound enticing at all.
Strawberry looking like
the
chocolate.
Best thing to do is just ferment out your fruit.
Yeah.
Add it near the end of ferment it out. You still get a ton of fruit flavor. I don't see... You guys might like this. Tell me, do you like those beers that are like smoothie beers and super sweet and kind of tart?
I like a good Goza. No. I like what you guys did with the... after midnight.
Meet me
after midnight. It was perfect. It was the right amount of like the salt, the saltiness with the sweet, and that's why I like Gozas, because they combine that salt and sweet, and it's not overly fruity and like desserty. You can drink a bunch of those and not feel thick. It was the right amount of thickness. It wasn't a very thin like wine looking. It had a little bit of the tint to it or haze to it. So that, to me, that's the style that's right up my alley. These guys both know, Steve and Pete know. That's right where I like a good Berliner Weiss, I like a good Goza, and I like a good sour IPA. Those are the three that I stick with. The fruit smoothie or milkshake based, not too thick for me. Too thick, too much on the tongue, too much going on. I'll have one to taste it, but more than likely I'm moving on to something a little thinner and probably bitterer or juicier.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Pete, your opinion?
Not my jam. Mm-hmm. Pun intended.
Literal jam.
That's no.
Jam in a can.
No, more German Belgian styles, hazy IPAs. As fun as it is to make fun of them, I fucking love them. Yeah.
We know Pete's gonna love his German styles. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Steve,
Marzens, Dunkels.
You like a good thick, juicy, milkshakey smoothie?
I'd rather drink my urine.
All right.
Which I'm sure you do a fair amount of.
Well, alone in the woods.
Hey,
I mean, when you sterile,
when you pass out from a good drunk and it just kind of,
it pools in your abdomen and it just leaks down into your throat.
It's gonna happen.
It's bound to happen.
What are you gonna do?
No, I'm not a fan of that whole thick, milky, shaky, fruity. You know what? It's basically, how about just give me a pouch on the side of Oregon puree fruit, and I'll add it to my glass if that's what you.
There you go. A little peanut butter and jelly. Love it.
Is it like those yogurt things where you dump in the fruit?
Yes, exactly. I'm way ahead of people, man. I think it's shit.
Or the
you know what? Damn, you should have done this 2 years ago. You'd be a millionaire.
How about if you did like the oatmeal stout, right? The oatmeal, like remember you used to get oatmeal and you do the swirlers inside the oatmeal of the pouch of the strawberry.
Yeah.
You do an oatmeal stout, or some sort of oat-based thing, and then you get that little pouch next to it on a 4-pack. You slap a couple of things on there, and then you
really
put the strawberry jelly. That
sounds like hell.
It's too much.
Sounds like hell.
Mark, are you friend of the you're a fan of the smoothie?
I'm waiting for them to categorize it differently.
Yeah.
And stop putting it in the sour category.
Yeah.
So when is the Brewers Association going to step in and make a different section for it? That's my
Cut
question.
this shit off.
Doesn't matter if I like it or not.
No.
I have to sell it.
Yeah.
But that's my question.
Yeah.
Stop. I don't think that it's a beer anymore. Now that they've
It's
they've
a
made it
non-beer.
into whatever it is. It's a non-beer.
It is a non-beer.
It's smart. You know what? That actually might be the solution, is categorize it differently, so you don't have to call it a sour, like you said, sour or a fruit beer or something. You got to give it its own thing, like smoothie. I don't even know if that'd be the right way to go with it, but it's
Malt-based wine.
Ooh, there you go. It's like malt liquor in a
Makes it
can.
sound fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone put their
makes it sound
pinkies up.
fancier.
Pinkies up for that.
What
one.
are your preferred styles, Mark?
Hey,
Me?
Yeah.
Right there with you.
Hold on.
Belgium's.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could guess some of them. You like a good Belgian strong.
Yeah, Belgian
Yeah.
strong. Give me anything. A lager, pilsner. You know, I'll drink it. I'll drink anything. I drink hazy IPAs. I drink whatever's good. Whatever I'm.
I wish you were the preferred customer, because I would love to make saisons and Belgian strongs and pilsners. Unfortunately, that's not what most people want to drink.
Indeed.
I think a lot of the I don't know. My thoughts are a lot of the people that are into beer right now are new to it, and so when you're first getting into it, you are drawn towards the IPAs because it doesn't necessarily taste like a true beer at this point, you know? And so it's an easy segue into craft. And then hopefully over the course of years of people, you get numb to it almost, and you look to have something else.
Those styles are also so prevalent that it's easy to it's what's popular now. So it's easier for everyone to find an IPA because there's so many fucking choices.
Yeah.
For hazy IPAs.
I'm just very happy that I'm finding more and more breweries are canning Kolsch's, Pilsners, lagers, and even going, box, double box. I mean, it's so good to see that, because now it could actually, and it done well. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had within the last month, I don't know how many Pilsners, and they've been really great jobs. I'm very, very happy to see that.
We've just hopped on and we've done 3 different West Coast IPAs in the last 3 months.
Really?
And they kill it. They kill it because I think beer drinkers are maybe a little tired of the New England sweet, and they want a real IPA again. And every time we release one, it's gone. Like every time we start telling bars we have a West Coast IPA coming, they're like, yeah, we'll take whatever you can give us.
That's awesome.
That's good to hear. I love a West Coast. Pete's not as big of a fan as I am of the West Coast.
I am not.
One of your neighbors, Ivan, over at Heritage, he produces the East Coast or eastbound and then a westbound. So he has both an East Coast and a West Coast on tap. And one of the great things I was able to do while I was there is to have them side by side and really see what the differences are between the two when you got yourself a nice hoppy, piney, sappy West Coast, and then you go over to the juicy, tropical flavors of the East Coast. You really get to notice the differences between the two. What was the last West Coast you guys brewed, and kind of what was the lineup of that for the hops to give it that piney, sappy feel?
The last West Coast we just came out with, actually the last West Coast hasn't been released yet, so I can't say that. But it's goddamn amazing. The last West Coast we came out with was Riding the Wave. Traditional West Coast IPA, 2-row, little bit of C15.
Is that in New Zealand?
A little bit of wheat.
That's a grain.
That's a grain. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, C15. Fermented with Chico yeast 001.
Wink, not.
And
that's a typical California ale yeast that
Cal Ale. It's called Chico or Cal Ale. Yep. I mean, 001 from Y Yeast, White Labs. Yep. SO5 is a dry version of it. They're all essentially the same thing. It's just a nondescript light yeast.
Yeah.
And then that one is Cascade, Centennial, and Chinook.
There you go.
So
West Coast hops.
The classic West Coast
trifecta.
Hops.
Triple C's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exactly what it's supposed to be.
I have a quick question because I love West Coast and you kind of already covered this, but besides the hops, the grain profile really does make the difference in the West Coast versus the East Coast?
Without a doubt.
Yep.
The grain profile makes a difference. The mash temp makes a difference. It's way different. I mean, our mash temps on our hazy New England, whatever we want to call them now, are way higher than what we do for a West Coast IPA because a West Coast IPA we want to be drier.
Well, what type of yeast do you use in
So, yeah, for our hazies, we use, not the answer, Steve.
Yeah.
Just open one of these right now.
Ooh,
just open one
I got to catch up.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about that time.
Still, I don't know. Steve, how long have we known each other?
A while.
Yeah, it's been a while. When I don't want to tell you something, am I going to tell you something?
Not until I get you drunk enough.
Let's see. I don't think you can get me drunk enough, Steve. Don't forget this.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, you motherfucker.
There he did it. He done did it. He did the move.
I think you're cuter now, though.
Why, thank you, sir.
That's from all the biking he's been doing.
Yeah.
And the golf disc.
Bro, I'm telling you,
got the torque.
You guys open up a goddamn freaking disc golf freaking. I'm up there, man.
Yeah.
It's there. It'll be in by June.
Nice.
We've got some trees to cut down.
We do a live show from
those are cool.
From Myers Creek. That's going to be a beautiful background. We'll just put our table out in the middle of the field by the hop yard out front and just get ahead and record right there.
Yeah, we're already working with the local disc golf club.
Nice.
And trying to get a tournament set up. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Awesome. Mark, we brought you on because in less than 1 week, the Wort is going to be on stage at the Pints of Love Beerfest. And Mark, you had a big, role in the Pints of Love Festival with the 90-second beer review guys. And we've been throwing a lot of information out to our listeners and to our followers. And I know, and you're one of the hubs where people can come and pick up beer and basically for the VIP packages, and then also enjoy the 24 beers from the 24 breweries or 12 beers? 12 breweries.
Yes.
And then, of course, the virtual weekend. I want to just really quickly, while we're kind of have you on and don't want to take too much time away from the family, I want you to give us the lowdown on how you kind of got involved with this festival, and then, of course, how you got us roped into this. Because I didn't send you the link. I got to send you a link to our video so you get a sneak preview.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'll forward you that link soon. But give us a little background of kind of how you got involved with all this.
I met up with Ryan from 90-second beer review just from Instagram. Instagram is amazing. I think that's how I got hooked up with you guys too.
Yep.
And I think we tried to do a couple of things together prior to COVID, just posting online. And he said he had this idea about trying to organize some kind of an event, virtual event, because of what's happening, and asked if I could help in terms of just choreographing, I guess, the breweries, with just trying to reach out to people to see if they would also want to be involved. And here we are. He did an incredible job, him and his partner, Howard.
Yep.
They organized this entire thing. Everybody that's involved right now, they pulled in. I threw a couple of names out there, including you guys, which we thought would probably do
not work at all.
No, not at all.
Like, how about these dumbasses? They're going to do a radio show. No. You want them on? They're like, fuck yeah. All right.
Bring the silly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And yeah, and all the breweries that we reached out to, everybody was game, which was incredible. I mean, and people that we reached out, other half, Equilibrium, we didn't think that they would, even say anything, pay any mind to us, and they're on board. And then good people like Dubco, local breweries, North Fork, Garvey's Point. So it's going to be super exciting. I'm very excited about it.
And we definitely
the beers that they gave us are solid.
Yeah, we did definitely get the best of the best of our Long Island, for sure. Oh, yeah. And what they've contributed, as well as the beer, but also to some of the interviews that are happening over the weekend. Some of the introspective brewery interviews that we could conduct, but we usually fuck up pretty bad. So it's best that they kept us away from that. And we had a lot of fun doing what we did in the studio. And people can check it out, of course, on Lemonade Social. And tickets can be purchased for $15 on the 90-second beer review Instagram page. And if you type in 2021 WORT, they can receive a 10% discount on their virtual ticket for the Valentine's Day weekend. It's a 2-day event, Mark. What's the deal on your end? What did you guys have to do? You had to basically pull in all the beer and distribute it out. How is that working with all the things and the moving parts throughout?
Yeah, so we're the mule here.
That's just a.
That's basically what it comes down to.
Wait, show that again. I missed it. Is that your picture of you catching with a lobster bib? Oh boy. Oh geez, Steven.
Fucking safety glasses and all.
Safety glasses, lobster bib. It was done pretty well.
But yeah, we just basically grabbed all the beers that all the breweries were offering up. They're in an amazing box with some chocolates and as well as tasting glass. Yeah. And then throughout the 2 days, the breweries are going to be walking everybody through the beers that will be found in there and pairing them up with some of the chocolates and answering questions in regards to the brewing procedures and the flavor profiles and everything else that goes along with it. So they all did an incredible job.
When do people end up picking up the VIP packages?
Pickup started Sunday, so yesterday.
And you got the stickers?
Even though we had snow.
Yeah. You got the stickers in there?
Yeah, we got some crazy, incredible Wort stickers. Yeah. They're actually quality. Where did you get them from?
Oh, don't you worry about that. I got a guy. I got a sticker guy.
We don't tell anybody.
Just like Ivan's yeast, it's a closely guarded secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a guy that does holographic stickers, and we get it on the low. We get it on the arm sometimes.
Right. I think we need to get some myself.
You get some Hopscotch holographics?
Hopscotch
I like
ones.
it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know who also does that? I was checking in earlier tonight on the Instagram was Squareheads. Squareheads does a really cool holographic sticker of their logo, and they distribute it out of their brewery. So I got the idea from them, and then, of course, I found them. Found our guy through their guy, and
is it Graz?
No, it's not. Oh boy, nope, it's not Graz.
Oh man!
But yeah, I mean, it's cool because it really does stand out, and I wanted to make sure that the people that were getting the VIP packages were able to get something out of it, and also promote the show. Obviously, that's our point of this is we're going to add content and help promote and get the word out there, and so the brewers that are guests on our show obviously get a platform, and people can go back into the podcast platforms and listen back and learn all about the breweries. That was the whole concept. Very cool.
Yeah.
Mark, we appreciate...
it's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be a lot of fun. We appreciate you helping us out and everything. I don't want to take too much of your time and for everything that you've done for us over the years. Obviously hosted us last year for a live show, and then we're going to move forward doing a lot of cool stuff with you and, basically you're part of the Wort family. And again,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for.
I'm waiting for my name to be on the sticker, and
whoa,
kind of jealous.
There's no more room. There's no more room.
There is it. You get mine on?
Yeah. It took Steve probably like 5 appearances and basically damage control in order to get his name on.
Yeah, I actually have to. I would have to contribute something.
I mean, if you want to start cleaning up grass-sized messes,
then yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
I miss grass.
Yeah,
this is what I do.
Well, we're just so you know, we are still selling our free Graz T-shirts. They are available on Teespring.com. If you go to Teespring.com, you can get your free Graz T-shirt. Graz has been relatively omitted from our show since the Graz mess that he made for himself. Since the incident. Which is almost going over a year now, right? I think about it. It's almost close to a year that Graz has been omitted from our show, except for the live appearance at Hopscotch Bottle Shop. He came on for a little bit.
Yes, he was back for the
Welcome.
For just a few moments.
Open arms.
We'll have him back on eventually. He'll have a limited role when we get back into the studio. And that'll probably happen in the next few months, believe it or not.
He'll be on the casting couch.
Yes, exactly. I don't mind him
over
there.
Good fundraiser to sell his shirts.
Yeah. Well, all proceeds go to the Free Graz Scholarship Fund. That'll help kids that have these crazy points of view that feel the need to air it over the broadcasting airwaves.
Yes.
And we'll step in and help those kids. Mark, I appreciate your time.
Does that mean I'm gonna get banned too?
No.
No,
No,
you're not even close to what happened.
Ivan, when the show's over, we'll tell you the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
One question for Ivan.
You just even eliminated like the post promoting that episode.
Yeah.
That never aired.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you know what? I said this to somebody the other day. I said, listen, when our show's done and over with, there is an end game to this. I'm not doing this till I'm 90 years old. We will release that show, and we'll just release it and not even care because we're not a show anymore. But that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Really curious.
Yeah,
we'll explain later.
You're going to like this one.
Yeah.
Mark, thanks so much. Go tend to your sons.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy it.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Mark,
again,
make sure you reach out to those guys. We will figure out a way to get you guys beer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm looking.
We don't
my big
distribute
question.
down there, but we'll figure something out.
How did you get hooked up? You might have already talked about this. How did you get hooked up with Dubco and Uber Geek?
Darling.
What do you mean? John from Dubco used to work for me at
Darling. Sorry, Darling. Yeah.
Johnny Hands.
And okay, so Darling also, he came from Barrier.
Yeah, Barrier.
Okay.
Barrier before that, and then Rockaway.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of my brewers used to work for me. One worked for me at Oyster Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and then worked for me at LIC. And one of my other brewers worked for Chris at Rockaway.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Chris was just like, he wants to move upstate. So, and now we have Mark.
Yeah. There you go.
And Mark's awesome and wants to constantly brew saisons. And I'm just like,
Yay.
no, we can brew one every 3 months.
Boo.
Yeah.
Sad
I
noises.
wish.
Yeah, I wish it was.
Oh, it's a lot of sad noises around the breweries all the time where it's like, oh, we're making another hazy.
So many sighs. Like, all right, fine.
Hey, you know what time it is?
Uh-oh.
Oh, right. It's time
Wait.
for Steve's questions.
Mark, you can go at this point. If not, you can hang out. I don't care
Thank
either
you,
way.
guys.
I just didn't want to hold you on the hook. Don't feel obligated.
Ivan, I definitely want to touch base, and I would love to carry your stuff.
Yeah,
so
hell yeah.
Anytime, man.
Yeah, hit up these guys and have them get in touch with me. That'd be awesome.
Will do.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for hopping on,
Appreciate
Mark.
it.
Thanks, Mark.
Good seeing you guys.
Holla.
Cheers.
Take care.
So go ahead, Steve. We have a special segment that we call Questions with Steve. Steve, take it away, buddy.
All right, brother. All right. So I ask these 3 questions to every brewer that comes on. I don't know if we've ever discussed this in our time hanging out and drinking, and but here are the 3 questions. So, what is your first beer that got you into craft beer? What was that one that you were like, wow, what the hell's going on here? I need to, look further into what craft beer is. Second question is, what is your favorite style?
Doggy.
And third, what is your go-to beer other than something you brew that you like to you drink, again and again, or you look for?
Can I go in reverse order?
Yes, you could go in whatever
All
order.
right, go-to beer. Go-to beer is easy. It's a coin flip of one of two. If I just want something, I'm gonna crush 15 beers. It's either Utica Club or Miller High Life. One of the
Utica.
Two. Yeah. Dude, it is a perfect American Pilsner.
Use Utica
Same
Pilsner.
with High Life.
I drank at the Mike Piazza Hall of Fame induction. We grabbed a 12-pack of that on the lawn in lawn chairs drinking Uticas. They were delicious out in that heat. It was the perfect lawnmower summer beer, crushing crispy boys on the lawn. Delicious.
I will not go into my Mike Piazza story because I did grow up in the Cooperstown area and met him while he was playing for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
We'll go into that after the show. Awesome dude. Question 2 was shit.
Style.
Hit me again, Steve.
Styles.
Style?
Yeah.
Style?
To brew or drink?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Brew is Saison. There's so much that goes into a Saison. I honestly believe it's the most technical style to make a good one of. You can, with the spices and orange peel and rye and wheat and everything involved in there and fermentation temperatures, you really have a lot of control to make the flavor of the finished product. So that's kind of my thing. And then back to question 1, which was balls.
What beer got you into craft beer?
What got you into what beer?
All right, so I'm probably, Steve's age. I just look much better.
Oh, 27. All right, we got it.
Yeah. So I would say I was a bartender in New Paltz.
Oh, there it is. There's the move. Oh,
in the mid-90s. Oh, yes.
How many?
I was a bartender in New Paltz in the mid-90s at
right.
the best beer bar in New Paltz. And God, there were so many beers there, but it was honestly, and it sounds cliched because I then interned for them, but like Omegang at that time was just a new thing. Mm-hmm. Like where you're like, wait, you're making these Belgian styles in upstate New York?
One of my favorite breweries.
Yeah.
And that place is amazing. And I mean, Phil is one of the greatest brewers I've ever met in my entire life. Like, that guy's a genius. So, I mean, I would go there. I mean, you could ask me this question in 15 minutes and I'd come up with a different answer. Be like, oh, it was Racer 5. Oh, no, it was, Racer 5 I don't know.
Bear Republic. Racer 5 was one of my early ones, too.
Dude, that was a banger.
Is one of my favorite beers, period. Hennepin is
phenomenal. And Witta, I mean, that beer wins GABF gold, silver, or bronze every year. And basically the other people are, our friends from Maine.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, the styles that you have, the tap room list of beers, is anything like a callback to some of your favorite styles, beers, things that you really want to brew? What influenced you for the tap room list if we were to go up there today?
Oh, it's not an influence by me. I don't create all this on my own. Like, it's our staff. We have a staff. Like, I am not a omniscient being. Like, the input from everyone that brews is constantly like, hey, I want to do this. Okay, fine, let's do it. It might work, it might not. I mean, honestly, our highest rated beer on Untappd, and the fact I know this is also soul sucking, is not a beer I designed. Like, I think it's, last I looked, it was Diplomatic Strategery, which was designed by Mark, one of our brewers, and he was like, I really want to do a Strata IPA. And I was like, okay, give me your recipe.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a really good brewing staff. Like, we have people there. We have guy with 30 goddamn years experience.
Yeah.
If you want to make a German lager recipe, that's kind of a dick move to be like, I'm going to make this recipe and Guy's standing there. Like, no, Guy's doing that recipe. Like, hazy IPAs, yeah, we make them. And we just rotate through. Like, I'll do one, Jeff will do one, Mark will do one, Jim will do one. Jim did an awesome weird beer, which was like a hazy IPA with Vec yeast. And that beer killed.
Cool.
It was weird. It was also awesome.
How many taps you guys have in the tasting room?
16.
Wow.
One of them is for cider.
Okay.
And one is a nitro.
Okay.
So 14.
Yeah. And now, like, when you go up there, all 14 are occupied. We kind of touched on a little bit.
By us.
By you. But we touched on a little bit of the, variants that are going on in there. Obviously, the Pilsner, a lager, a Kolsch. Is there anything out there up there that kind of stands out that's kind of crazy and different of something that you haven't done before that's just working?
No, I mean, we don't go crazy out of bounds. I mean, we did a beer that I won an award for when I was at Oyster Bay, which was Coffee Goza. That was on tap for a while.
I remember that fucking beer,
You know what?
bro.
I feel like I've had that.
I had that. It was at the beer festival.
Yeah, you know
yes,
what? It was
the
that
Blue Point one.
Bro, I remember
That's probably
that
where
beer.
I've had it. I remember that.
Yeah,
fucking
and
beer.
we did it again. We did it here just to kind of fuck around and just be like, this beer will not sell. Like, we knew for a fact, like, it wasn't going to sell, but we were like, the people that are like it are going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we got to do, I think it's what I just poured, the Wanna Get Nuts that I sent you guys.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Really good beer. And yeah, Steve, you were 5 years too soon.
Good call.
Like, literally, you were making these beers 5 years ago, and everybody's like, wow, they're really sweet and, like, filled with candy. And it's like, now people want to drink these goddamn things.
Yay, me.
Yay, you. And it's like, okay, we make these beers. Like, I would prefer us to be known as the greatest lager brewer in New York State. But then again, nobody cares about that. So
I think a lot of people
if
would
we
want
make
that.
awesome hazies and awesome pastry stouts as well, and we are, as Chris from Dubco said, like, we are the destination brewery of New York State. Like, when you show up at that place, you are dumbfounded by the surroundings. You look out to Casanova Lake. It's enormous. You got rolling hills. There's hop fields in the front. You got, vegetables and barley growing in the back. It's ridiculous, dude. It's amazing.
That's
like,
so
it
cool.
is the most beautiful brewery you will find in New York State.
And I've tried to find a more beautiful brewery, by the way.
A disc golf course.
Yeah, and the golf course is going to make it that much better. But that's important. I mean, like I said, I started the show talking about how awesome, if you go online, if you look at Instagram, if you look at Google, and you look at the images coming from Myers Creek Brewing Company, you see just the gorgeousness, the serenity of the surroundings of what you have going on. In addition to that, awesome 14 plus nitro plus cider tap list. You have everything you could ever probably want out of a brewery.
Yeah.
And that's the key, like being able to supply that moment for everyone to sit, enjoy, get a flight, relax, watch the sunset. Amazing kind of setup you have going on over there. I want to get into this beer though, because we didn't kind of touch on that. That's the Wanna Get Nuts. So, this thing is packed of taste, and like I said, a beautiful ode to what Steve was doing in his pastry stouts. Imperial pastry stout, cocoa nibs, Graz, toasted coconut, and almonds. Give us the rundown on this crazy elixir that you have going on here, because it's delicious.
All right, so Steve will really appreciate this. I did not have to cut up 12,000 goddamn Snickers to do this. The first time Steve told me that, I literally walked out to the car like an hour later, and I was like, that sounds insane. I'm never doing that. But I appreciate it, because Yada 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 was one of the most amazing beers I've ever tasted in my entire life. And also, this is a Seinfeld reference as well. Want to get nuts?
Want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. So, yeah, big beer. I think it came out of the brew house at 29 Play-Doh. So
nice.
Thank you. I knew Steve would appreciate that. That means a lot of sugar. For those listening at home. And then fermented out. And then we took the cocoa nibs and toasted coconut and recirced the fermented beer through that for 24 hours.
Oh, that's
and then almonds. We went almond extract. It's really tough to get the almond flavor
and the oil
any other way.
You're just going to get a lot of oil from almonds anyway.
Correct. Exactly. So we used a water soluble almond extract, and and we ended up with this sweet boozy concoction.
Boozy
and
indeed.
The one thing I'm super proud of this is when you taste it, it doesn't taste like it's 12%.
No, smooth. Smooth.
No, like 15% easily.
Like, it's not boozy. I really like that about this beer.
What type of cocoa nibs were you guys using?
Ooh.
Ecuadorian.
Ooh.
Nice.
So they came from Ecuador, single source farm. So somehow we stumbled upon this guy, and he was just kind of was like able to give us like here's a sample. These are all single source from this place. And I was like, okay, these are awesome. And we bought a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes right through. It's a beautiful. It actually adds also to that nice mouthfeel that I'm getting from this, from this beer. I love it, man.
Yeah.
It's
thank you so much. Yeah, the coconut's not overpowering.
Nope.
It could be more coconutty, maybe.
It could have been, but it's not. It doesn't.
Coconut's there.
Yeah, it's not detracting from it.
The key that you said earlier, the alcohol is hidden extremely well.
Yes.
I wouldn't guess 13. I think 9 in that range.
Is it? It was 12. But either way,
12.
You're right.
The label says 12.
Right.
It'll say it's 12.
And so I was going to ask about that, because there's a lot of beer out there that says something, but
it's 12.
Yeah. No, it is 12.
I mean, maybe it's as high as 12.3, but it's no higher than 12.3.
Obviously, let's just say other breweries brew beers that potentially say something and don't mean that, or it could be higher or lower.
Maybe they have fruit puree in them.
Yeah, maybe. And it just ferments in the can as it comes to you.
Or they just don't put the ABV on the side of the can
at all. And then it fucks you up and you're like, what the fuck just happened? But yes, correct. I mean, this one is completely hidden regardless of 12 or 12.3. It's smooth. It drinks deliciousness. I want to go get chocolate-covered strawberries right now. I mean, Steve, what's your daughter doing right now? Making strawberries, or what are you doing?
Hey, actually, they were mad at me because there were 2 containers of strawberries that I was supposed to bring one with only like 6. I took the wrong one that had like 12 or whatever, and I got yelled at for that.
Ivan, what we're referring to is part of our Pints of Love contribution. We use chocolate-covered strawberries in a certain fashion or way, and Steve supplied the chocolate-covered strawberries for us to do what we were doing for the Pints of Love Festival. So there's a little hidden message for people that are going to watch the Pints of Love.
We'll tell you afterwards because you have that look like, guys, I don't
Steve, you didn't boof strawberries, did you?
Did what?
Boof them. He didn't boof them. It would have been a little messier. We needed a bigger stage for that.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
And a lot
I don't
more.
know what Steve's an odd individual.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. That's why we brought him in.
I love you, Steve.
Things happen with me around. That's
sometimes it happens. You know what?
I know. I've hung out with you.
I don't know if I would have put it past him, and I would have been not surprised and probably not embarrassed whatsoever. So it would have been a good time either way.
Give me enough beer, I'll do anything.
That's a good point. You and me both,
true.
Guy. I.e. the lobster bib.
I.e. the lobster bib.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. So any other beers, Ivan, that you guys have brewed that has this big, bold taste? Anything else in the stout range, pastry stouts, anything that's come before this in the last few months?
We did a beer. That beer is basically, we were down to our last 6 of it, called El Gordito.
I like the name.
Thank you, which means somebody has an idea of Spanish. So it was a chocolate churro stout.
Cinnamon chocolate. Yeah.
Cinnamon chocolate.
Nice.
Our restaurant makes churros that they serve as a dessert. And so we, shits and giggles, threw them in the mash tun.
Nice.
And then, chocolate churro again. 12% ABV. Sweet.
Did you guys end up canning that, or was that a taproom only?
We did. We canned that and sold out in 3 days. So that one went. Want to get nuts? We canned a lot more, and we went through half of it in the first 3 days, and then realized the people that are going to buy these are going to buy them opening weekend, and then it kind of slows down.
Yeah. But, I mean, as long as it's an offering, and then there's some shelf life to it, too, right? I mean, with these big, bold stouts, you can kind of let it sit for a while.
Yeah. I mean, we're very technical in our canning program as well. We are checking cans coming off the line for packaged oxygen. We're making sure everything's okay. So any beer that comes off our canning line is good for a while.
Yeah. What are you using?
There's no better feeling than when you test out of the tank and you got 0 DO in the tank. You know that canning run is going to be awesome.
Boom. On point.
Yeah, and we're checking that, and then we're piercing cans after it's canned, and we're still seeing under 40 ppbs of oxygen, where it's just we're not going to see a real oxygen pickup on beers. We're super... Our staff knows the importance of the liquid coming out of the building, and they know every single can is their name,
as it should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Responsibility. And are you guys using a local canner, or you guys have your own canning line?
We have a canning line.
We have a canning line.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have a 5-head Wild Goose with a full decal. We have a labeler. We have a collection
You have
table.
all the toys. You have every toy you can possibly think of.
No, there's more.
Wait,
we're close.
There's always more.
There's always more.
You have a
There's
wish
always
list.
more.
How's it been for you guys getting cans?
Ooh.
Bro,
good call. It's not been great.
Yeah.
So let's just I will not mention any vendors. But we had an agreement with a vendor that said we were guaranteed a minimum of 16 pallets a month.
Okay.
That shrunk from 16 pallets to 4 pallets about 3 months ago. And that shrunk from 4 pallets to 1 month last month. We generally can more than 2 pallets of cans a week. So we have found alternative sources outside of them. This is in flux as we speak. We are. I don't know if you guys know Frog Alley at all out of Schenectady. One of the most brilliant brewers in the state of New York is there. He and no offense to Drew, but Drew's not the most brilliant brewer in New York. Drew's amazing brewer. He just is not Rich Michaels. Rich Michaels is a fucking genius. They had said they got a deal through China to get cans in, and they're actually using a better internal lining of the can.
Really?
They're using the European one, so it's way better lining. It's much more pH stable. It just has a slight color to it, so they're like, hopefully nobody cuts cans open. And I'm like, okay, we're going that way. So we're likely going to start buying cans from China at this point.
China.
It is unfortunate. But at the end of the day,
your business
suppliers we have, they're basically going to start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So we have to do it. It's a business decision, and we'll go with it as it will. I mean, if somebody faults us for buying something from China, I'm sorry, but
try avoiding it.
There's no goddamn aluminum in the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm not going down that road. I'll say political things, and I will somehow somebody will hate me.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I had just read an article recently about a brewer or brewery that was 2 of their beers that they sold, they were selling in 8-ounce cans. Because they were very high in ABV, and they felt, this was a smart idea. Instead of having a 16-ounce can where you're going to have a hard time drinking one. And they were like basically one drink. All right, I'm good. It's like buying a 22-ounce bomber and you got to share it. That's the way they were looking at it. And they were selling a crap ton. Well, they were told by the supplier, no more 8-ounce cans. You have to concentrate on 12 and 16-ounce. And you won't see an 8-ounce can again until probably 2025.
Jesus.
Wow.
No, you're correct on that. I mean, I don't know. Most people didn't notice this because you guys aren't Bud Light drinkers. Budweiser, midway through the year, stopped selling the 16-ounce cans of Bud and Bud Light. Now, they only do that to take up shelf space.
Right.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get that. They couldn't get those cans.
Right.
So they just gave up on that shelf type for that reason. And they were just like, well, I guess we're going to lose 2 shelf spaces to somebody else. And hopefully we get them back in a year or 2.
That'd be good. That's troubling. Ivan, what other kind of hurdles have you gone through? I'm gonna go take a pee because we're just about out of time, but I want to be back for the ending. What other hurdles have you gone through in these COVID times since you opened during COVID that you had to kind of fight through? Stuff from the state, stuff from the local townships. What are the biggest challenges that you faced along the way here?
I mean, obviously, COVID's a good God. I don't even know what to say to this question because I don't think anybody in their entire life, there's not one person on this podcast that would say, I knew at some point in my life we would go through this.
Even if you imagine a pandemic could happen or it's a likely event, who could ever envision this is what it would be like, right?
Right. Even though in all my years, I've never considered this as a business plan thing.
Yep.
So I just don't know. We are honestly doing very well. In a weird sense, it helped us a little bit because we were a new brewery and having the restrictions kind of was helped us grow through it. So it was next year when we have no restrictions on our tap room,
you're not going to know what the hell to do with yourself.
Our restaurant is going to be way better prepared for 100% capacity. And it's we learned through this. I mean, this sounds absolutely insane. The last 2 Saturdays in a row in our tap room, we had an hour and a half wait to get a table.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes.
So what did you have? Did you have people out in the farm just kind of moseying through and walking around, or what was?
You gotta. It's stay socially distanced and
go pet a cow, come back.
Yep.
Yeah, go sit in your
burger's
car.
Gonna look like.
Go sit in your car. We're really sorry, but you can't just be here. So yeah, that's kind of it's
a good problem to have.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have. It's a bad problem to have during COVID.
Right.
But COVID is, I don't know. I literally don't know where we would be. So I left New York to come up here in April.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to come up 2 weeks earlier, and they were like, how about you home quarantine for a couple extra weeks because you live in Queens, and we don't know if you got this crazy disease.
God, in the spring.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah.
The height of it. It was crazy during April and May.
I was in Madison Square Garden 2 nights before the goddamn shutdown.
Mm-hmm. You're on the 15th, right? The 15th. I was in a concert the 13th.
Me and you both.
Yeah, I was at a concert on the 13th at.
Were you at? I was at the Brothers.
No, I was at fuck! I have pictures of it. I'm like, wow, remember that? It's a few days before the quarantine. Fuck, who was it? It was some.
I went to see the Omen Brothers.
Nice.
Fucking tribute band. Cool. The next day was the Big East tournament, and then the second day of the Big East tournament, the world shut down.
Yep.
My
good thing it only lasted a couple weeks, and everything was back up and running by Easter.
Right? Yeah,
otherwise
we were
it really
totally
would have been a
fine.
problem.
Nothing changed. I mean, everything was good after that.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize
that curve
was a
could not have been flatter? Yeah.
Do we
it
realize
was a year.
Yeah.
This is a year of our lives.
Yep. Gone.
My son was born at the end of January, and
It's been a whole year
It's been a whole year, and what a fucking year.
I've been accused of knowing that this was coming. That's why I shut down my brewery. I needed to get out before the fucking shit hit the fan.
You got to know.
Steve, I got to ask this. Are you cute?
Steve, you should have waited a couple more weeks, and then you could have blamed it on COVID.
Yes, I could have.
I was going to say, did you get a note in your aluminum pallet that says, shut it down now? Shut it down now.
Me, get out now before it's too late, brother.
It's coming.
Are you Q?
Or Anon? Which one are you? Ivan, we're going to get cut off in a few minutes, so I want to wrap it up.
Awesome.
I want to give you a minute to go ahead and give us the big plug, the big promotion. Tell everybody where you can find you, all the social media contacts, hours of operation, all that good stuff.
All right, so let's talk restaurant right off the bat. We are open from Wednesday through Sunday from 11:30 to, I believe, 8:30 at night. All those days. You can see the restaurant menu on our website and special updates through Instagram and Facebook and soon to be Twitter and maybe TikTok. Who knows?
Ooh, TikTok-y.
We Brewing, same sort of thing. Just keep looking at us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. We are constantly releasing other beers. We are currently really just local. We are, Casanova, Syracuse, Ithaca, Utica, Rome, and that's really it. Unless people reach out to us,
like Hopsscotch Bottle Shop,
we will get you beer. We'll figure out a way. Like, we've gotten beers to places. In the spring, we will be reaching out farther. So
cool.
Our beer is honestly some of the best in the state, if not the Northeast or the country. I mean, our Pilsner will compare to any Pilsner made throughout the country. Our hazies are as good as anyone makes. And we are. Here's the thing. I don't want to sound like a total asshole, but we make really good beer.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like, our beer's good.
Good.
And
I got 3 out of 3 here.
Yeah. 3 out of 3 right off the bat. The Pilsner. This was a great progression, by the way. Pilsner, hazy, stout. It was a great progression. Got me right through the night. This stout, I mean, it's so sippable. It feels like a good cognac as I'm doing it without the alcohol content of burning your freaking lips and throat off. And it's a gorgeous one. I love it. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, so one of the places I worked was doing R&D with Sam Adams, and one thing I worked on was Utopias.
Oh.
I learned a lot of tricks.
I got the tricks. Inside secrets.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, that's how you make that taste like that and be that boozy. All right, thank you, guys. I'm out.
Yep.
Ivan, really appreciate it for coming on tonight. Been a lot of fun. We got to come up there and visit. And like I said, if we get some time,
as soon as you can.
Yeah, as soon as we can. I mean, as soon as this lightens up, if we can get below 1%, like we did over the last summer, maybe we'll head up there over the summer, do a live show from the hop yard. Yeah, we're getting there. We're 4%. We're on our trending down, which is great. But we definitely want to come up and hang out and relax and have a good time up at the brewery. It's a beautiful place. Everyone go check it out. It's Myers Creek, Meier '(S), Creek Brewery on Instagram, on Facebook. Go ahead and search them out on Google. Check out all the updates, like he said, on Instagram for all the new beers being released. Yes, you can find it local, but we're going to try to get it down here in Hopscotch so people can sample the awesome hazies and pilsners and stouts that you provided with us tonight. Again, thank you very much for shipping that stuff down. It would have been a much big pain in the ass to drive 4.5 hours to get up to you. But definitely,
but you
probably
come and seen the place.
Yeah, it's true, and we will.
I tried.
I guarantee
I said to him, let's go.
He did. Yeah, actually, there were some talks about a drive, but tough times 2 weeks out to kind of figure it all out as we go week to week.
No worries.
And honestly, we have in 2 weeks from now, Gabe from Oyster Bay Brewery coming on as part of our guest of our show. So it's a great tie-in for this back-to-back week. It's going to be fucking phenomenal.
Can you send me that Zoom link?
Yeah, you want to come in? You want to jump in?
Yeah, I do.
Fuck yeah, you're in.
Oh,
don't tell him.
No,
don't tell him.
Well, he's going to hear it now because we're live, but I don't know if he heard it. So you know what?
Is he still watching? He just texted me like 10 minutes ago.
We're not on Instagram Live anymore, but he might hear it in playback. So we'll have to see.
Fuck, I hope he does.
Yeah,
but
so you know what?
Send me that link.
I will.
I'll hop on.
It's the same link as tonight. We have the same Zoom ID every week, so you're good. Whatever
Are you
have.
shitting me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Same one.
How is Billy not hopped on for some godforsaken reason?
Well, we'll get everybody on as it goes. We're traveling our way. We're working our way through all of Long Island, and then we're slowly working our way upstate and beyond. I mean, we're really kind of broadening our reach every single week and every single year. And
I appreciate what you guys are doing.
This has been unbelievable. Thank you very much for coming on and joining us and sharing everything that you had to share with us tonight. Except for the yeast strain. But, I mean, besides that, we've had a great...
He'll tell me. He's going to tell me.
He's going to tell you off air. That's fine.
When I come up there...
Yes, off air, no recordings.
And I hang out and we drink together, I'll get it.
Yeah, it's because you're going to bring some Utopia with you. That's why. This is the Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GovsRadio.com. Thanks a lot, Ivan from Myers Creek Brewing Company up in Casanova, New York. Pete, let's give us the last big word here. What do you got?
Don't forget to have your pet spayed or neutered.
Steven, what do you got for us tonight? Anything special?
You could lead a horse to water, but you can't fuck him.
All right, fair enough. This is the Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GovsRadio.com. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Also, check us out on our podcast version on the Hopped Up Network, on iTunes, on Spotify. And we'll see you in about 2 weeks with Gabe from Oyster Bay Brewing Company. And we're out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been The Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.